Are you ready, everybody? Order! Ring that bell. I was waiting to see. Hi, Russell. I was waiting to see what it did because this week I've increased my knowledge, and I've actually got this one running off my phone because I think my phone is probably a better quality of camera than my much loved but donkey's years old laptop. So that's what we're going with for today. So lovely to see everybody. And are you all ready? My hubby's just delivered my brew.
Made by Derek.
Made by Derek. Yeah, made by Derek. So, welcome everyone. I've got to say it was lovely to have some people sat waiting. I'm quite excited. Eric's having fennel tea. So, obviously, the ones of you that were waiting knew what to expect. I hope you brought a tissue to wipe the tears away when you start laughing. And we promised to entertain, amuse with your jams and jellies. Missed that bit. I'm just going to twist that down a little bit because I feel like I've got it pointing at the top of my head. That's better. Yeah, so we promised to entertain and amuse and inform you during lockdown. Hi Janice. So what I'm going to do shout outs in sort of sections because it makes it a bit confusing when you're watching it on playback that you've got sort of random things chucked into the conversation. So I've got chat enabled on playback, but we'll do shout outs in sections, so I'll tell you when we're ready. So I promised to entertain, amuse and inform you, which I think we did yesterday when we got wet on Blackpool prom, didn't we? I was stood there at the side of the seafront and the railings, telling you that I didn't want to get wet, and I got drowned. Up the wave came and down it came, bang onto me. But it was funny. Nonetheless, it was funny. I'm always at the front of the queue to laugh at my own misfortunes. So if you've not seen that, it's a YouTube live that we did yesterday morning on Blackpool Tower Festival headland, right in front of the tower in the beach house. And it was high tide, and by was it lashing. It was lovely on that promenade. In fact, I don't think the twinkly sunshininess of it came across quite as much on the playback as it did in real life. And that was after the party political broadcast about not going near the edge, courtesy of Kevin. So today, it's a sad day today. It's Bobby Ball's funeral. In fact, I think it's probably sort of any time now-ish, because I noticed on the Viva Facebook page that they'd said that they'd cleaned their webcam. If you've not already seen that, there is a webcam on the roof of Viva, and it points straight down onto the seafront. So obviously it's not as good as our no, sorry about that, Martin, if you're watching it back. Yes, it is. It's actually very good. It's a very good view. And it's right on top of the building. Viva is straight across from Tower Festival House, the sort of wonky one on the seafront. And there's the diner on the ground floor, and then upstairs is the Viva venue, but you're not really aware of it. So on their roof they've got a webcam, so you need to have a look at that. It's a skyline webcam. So they've cleaned the view today, so that if people were watching it this afternoon, they could see the cortege going past for Bobby Ball. So it's a sad day. It's a sad day when another one of our legends has shuffled off this mortal coil. But I would imagine is yeah, creating havoc where he's gone. He'll be up there looking down on everybody saying, "Hey Tommy, can you imagine?" Rubbish impression. So I was going to say, oh, Bobby Ball, that was it. I can remember going to see Cannon and Ball on North Pier with my grandma and granddad. I think I was about 10. So it's a very, very, very long time ago, you can imagine. And we were in, what's it called, that flat bit? There's the flat bit and then there's the rake seats at the back in there. We were in that flat bit at the front and we were quite near to the stage, and they must have been quite early on in their career, and probably a bit before they got to be really massive stalls. That's it, Eric. And I can remember in the interval my grandma buying me a cornetto. Now this is going to make me sound ancient, because I can remember this cornetto being really, really exotic and a really, really big event, because cornettos were new at the time. How old am I? 946, I think. And every time I think about Cannon and Ball, I think about that cornetto. Anyway, I'm sure you've all got your own memories of Cannon and Ball and various other comedians. While we're on about comedians, the one that had us splitting our sides, I can hear these two sniggering, splitting our sides the most, was Billy Pearce. I don't know whether you've ever seen Billy Pearce live, but laugh, goodness me, it was hilarious. And again, this was at the Grand Theatre, so we were in the stalls, Eric, and we were on that ground floor stall as you're looking at the stage at the left hand side, quite near to the front. And I have never laughed as much in my life. I thought Kevin and my dad were just going to lay out flat on the floor. Not that there is much. They just couldn't hold up for laughing. So funny. If you ever get a chance to see him live, he just shows at Viva. If you ever get a chance to see him live, if we can ever go out again after coronavirus, you really ought to see him, because he's so funny. Yeah, there was something else I was going to say then as well, and that's gone. Oh, I'm terrible. I've got a memory like a sieve. Memory like a sieve. So today we're going to do, yeah, Ken Dodd, that was it. Kat Kat's just said that she was a Diddy man. Wow. And when Ken Dodd went on stage, he didn't know when to come off, did he? I never went and saw Ken Dodd. But I do know people that did. In fact, a friend of mine went to see Ken Dodd, and I think it was something like 1:30 in the morning when they eventually got him off stage. Anyway, we're now to laugh in Blackpool. David says the funeral procession has just gone past Viva and they've posted it on the We Love Blackpool Facebook page. Oh, what a shame. I'm just looking to see. It's a shame it's not sunny like it was earlier. I always think that you know, you want to be interred on a nice day. Yeah. So today we're going to do questions and shout outs. So one or two of you last week when we did this rather random, rather well, I mean, it just degenerated into more and more funniness last week. One or two of you started asking questions and posting things on the comments, and I did my best. to answer them, and there's a slight delay on what I'm reading and what you're typing. I think it takes a little while to go down the cable all the way to America and come back to me. So if you want to be thinking of things that you want to ask about the Fylde Coast, and all the wonderful things that go on here, I will endeavour to answer your questions. I'm not guaranteeing that I'll know the answer, but if I don't, I'm sure we can find out for next time. And in the course of events, I'm just looking at the clock. It's just around the other side of the phone. And that one in the camera, it's back to front for me. So currently it looks like we're on 10 to 10 cowboy time. Did you know that if you're dyslexic, that as a child you frequently struggle to learn how to tie laces, tell the time, and other similar things like that? And you'd have hysterics if you saw how I tied a bow.
Just keep quiet, one of them.
Yeah, Kevin says he's keep quiet, one of them. I've not got anything stringy to demonstrate, but when I tie a bow, I make 2 loops and then I knot them together. I don't do that thing where you, what do you do? Anyway, Frosty says, have I ever been to the Hole-in-One Cafe? Now, the Hole-in-One Cafe, for anybody that's not sure, is at Gin Roundabout, not Gin, Gin Roundabout. And as you stood with Gin Roundabout at the back of you, Reggae Stars would love a shout out and has just found our channel. Where have you been? Eh? Where have you been all this time? We've been publishing for 10 years. Well, to be fair, we've only just gone on YouTube, but we're working on it. Gin Roundabout. You've got Gin Roundabout behind you. Currently there's a Spitfire parked on it. And you look over the wall there where it's quite steep down onto the seafront, and the Hole-in-the-Wall Cafe is literally hidden underneath the wall there as you sort of look over the edge. So it's a lovely view, and there's all tables and chairs outside, so if you're having a walk on that area, you can stop and have a brew in the fresh air when they're on. Did it get a hole-in-one? I don't know why it's called the Hole-in-One Cafe. I've not done the winner yet, Janet. I promised I would do it last. Yes, Duncan, we've been going for 10 years. We've been publishing Visit Fylde Coast and all the stuff that we do. I was going to bring my iPad up and I've forgotten it. All the stuff that we do for, well, it'll be 11 years in January. So we've got 8 websites. We've got multiple social media pages, and we've got a weekly email newsletter that goes out every Tuesday. In fact, I've made a note to tell you that I've done that this morning. So at 5:30 this morning, I was sat typing away in my nightie. Well, not my nightie, in my pyjamas actually. I don't wear a nightie. So it's pitch black and everybody else is snoring, and I'm sat there in my gym jams typing away. So we've been doing all that for 10 years, and I should say we've been reaching an audience of 3 or 4 million people a year ish. So we're not new. We're not kind of a well-hidden secret. We've just brand new to YouTube. So it's the first time I've come out from behind the camera since lockdown began. Yes, I'm an early bird, David. I'm a bit nocturnal, and it's a well-known fact among my business friends and colleagues that they don't invite me to go to anything after 6 o'clock. I just don't go at night. In fact, are there 2 6 o'clocks in a day? So yes, I'm up early. I'm up before the larks, in fact. So Astonished Cell says, I think the Hole in the Wall has a new owner now. It might not be called this any longer. Don't you find though? Oh, working at 2 AM. Goodness me, that's a bit early even for me. Don't you find that when things change the name, that you just carry on calling it by what you used to calling it? I mean, just on the road here from us, our local pub is called the Venue. And when we moved here, it was called the Royal Hotel. And anybody that's known Cleveland for a very long time will probably be familiar with the Royal Hotel. And it was taken over by the current owners, the lovely Jackie. Oh, now then, I bet it's about 12-15 years ago, something like that. It's a while. It's privately owned. And when Jackie took it over, she changed its name to the Venue. And even today, people still call it the Royal. And I must admit, for a long time, I couldn't get my teeth around calling it the Venue. But when you've eaten enough Christmas dinners, etc. Question, Jane, can we access Visit Fylde Coast on Facebook if we have no account on there? I don't believe you can, because back in the days when dinosaurs roamed the earth and we started doing all this, you didn't need to have a Facebook account at that time in order to view content. And I do believe, yeah, exactly, Frosty, I do believe that now it does. And you can't actually look at things unless you've signed up. But what, Kevin?
There's a feed on the homepage.
Yes, there's a feed. You see, I keep him for some things and he does a bit of earwigging as well. There's a feed on the home page, left following the scandals. What scandal? Did I miss a scandal? This is Derek, this is the designer.
Hello, can you see me, folks?
He's busy making Christmas cards by the
Thousands.
million. Yeah, so you need an account, but like with all things, best advice is have a really long, complicated password, and then it will make you a lot more safe. And you should always have, children, you should always have different passwords for different accounts. Don't use the same one. Oh, using members' information, well, I guess that's kind of the price that you pay. If you want to use Facebook and find out what's happening, then they get to know quite a bit about you, don't they? And in my case, they know that I get up early in the morning, I go to bed early at night, and I like Lego. What can I say? Shall I show you my Lego? I said that because, you know, when adverts pop up and they kind of follow you around on your computer, we'd been talking about, I've been collecting, I'm telling you all my secrets now, I've been collecting the Lego cards from Sainsbury's, and we've been talking about the Lego cards, and all of a sudden I started getting adverts for Lego. Are you ready? I thought this one was particularly cute. Isn't that nutty? It's a pea. And when you look away if you're of a nervous disposition. Are you ready? When you take the pea's hat off, he's got a bowl of peas on his jumper. You see it? Isn't that sweet? I like my Lego. Got all kinds of little bits of Lego. It's all that junk that you keep around your desk that makes it feel like home, isn't it? Yeah, so I'd not been looking any Lego up, and I just all of a sudden started getting adverts for Lego. In fact, I think this one could be me on a bad day. This is what you really don't want me ever to do, to sing. Did you hear my husband and my father snigger at that point? This is a little dancing diva. Yeah, so we all have our foibles, don't we? Mine's Lego. I've got some really, really old vintage Lego somewhere, but it's tucked in one of them cupboards. Very well played with, I might add. So, have you got any more questions? Have you thought of anything? Anybody? And then I think we'll do some shout outs. So if you want to be typing your question, type in your comments and your shout outs, and I'll, my foible is origami. I'll be alright doing origami. I'd set off making a plane. Ooh, Frosty was trying to sell his Lego for nearly £1,000. I had a Lego train. Oh, I did like that train. In fact, funnily enough, I think I must have been a frustrated town planner, because I used to put all my base plates out on the floor and build streets and houses and things. So we've got a hello from Jane. We've got Frosty here with us. We've got Duncan. I'm trying to remember now. I've got a terrible memory. Frosty sold a train for 75 quid. I don't really know why I'm keeping mine, because I've not got any kids. So, you know, somebody's going to have a right job on doing house clearance.
You've got me.
Yeah, I've got Kevin. So when I shuffle off this mortal coil. Yes, the pictures behind us are available to buy framed. Car's fine now, it's been repaired. Frosty had a railway station. I don't think I had one. Can you remember whether I had a railway station, Dad?
Oh,
It's a very long time ago.
it's such a long time ago.
Very long time ago. What vlogs am I doing in the next few weeks? Well, we've got about a fortnight of lockdown left by my reckoning. And we'll come on to that in a minute. So I don't really want to go and do vlogs in places that need sort of people and will look like a crypt while we're in lockdown. So I'm kind of treading water a bit at the minute, and I'm just covering random stuff for the next couple of weeks. But this is my little notebook where I write my ideas out. Bye, Russell. We'll see you soon. What am I going to be filming for Christmas? Well, one year, oh dear, one year, Kevin, and then this is going back a while as well. Kevin just kept wandering around our house for several weeks with a video camera, a camcorder, if you can remember them, and clipped everything together into a video, and it was no story at all. There was nothing to it. It was just us being us and doing what we do on a normal daily basis. And we watched that at Christmas one year, and I were just so funny. It was hilarious. It was just like our very own version of the royal family. Seeing things minus folk is different, as Blackpool is always busy. Well, yeah, Duncan, my mum said to me the other day, "You're going back to Blackpool again?" And I said, yeah, because it's different. You just never see it like that. And I mean, my mum's got a bad back at the minute. She's in a bit of a pickle, is told lass.
Yeah, old lass.
But she's gone out by watching these videos, and otherwise she wouldn't have seen anything practically this year, apart from COVID. So this is my little notebook with all my little ideas in it, and then this is the one that I jot things down in, and then I've got a spreadsheet. You should see my spreadsheet. Yes, Kat, I am going to Poulton. In here I've got Fleetwood. For example, we've got Fleetwood beach wheelchairs, which is a new project. In fact, it's one of my neighbours. And they're doing wheelchairs with great big inflatable tyres that you can take disabled people on the beach. So that's fab. And obviously, they're in lockdown. Cleveland's, Marshmill Village. Marshmill Village is closed. Community centre is closed. And then what have I got here? I've got all sorts of ideas left. I've got a treat coming for you next year, because I'm also going to do as well visits to people who I know in the Blackpool sort of tourism industry, and do sort of fly on the wall, look around. So they'll be interesting. No, I don't think there is still a craft shop at Marshmill. Yeah, it sounds nice. Frosty's just talking about Helen's Crowd and Loud. I was watching his fish and chips the other day when he'd been to that one near the Winter Gardens. Is it by the sea? And I thought they look very nice actually. He said the batter was tasteless, but it looked nice to me. Mind you, having said that, I have about half a pint of vinegar on my batter, so you won't know, will I? St Anne's. I intend to go back to Fairhaven Lake. That will be lovely in winter, but don't really want it to be deserted. Ferry, you see, I'm going to go on the Fleetwood to Nottingham ferry, but that's short. Town centre shops in St Anne's, I've not been there. Need to go to Poulton. Need to go to various different places. Poulton, Market Square, Pilling, Not End. You see, they're all in my little book. And they're all deserted. So you don't really want, I mean, Not End's quiet to start with. So Not End in lockdown is going to be grim. So these are all my ideas. Fleetwood Pier is a bit of a sore point, David. Perhaps best to leave that one alone. Glastondock. Now, I've never been to Glastondock. My dad and Kevin went on a wander up that way, up to sort of Lancaster and Glastondock and whatnot. Bit out of my range. I'd need smelling salts and a map. Yeah, so that's my little jotty book. So that's that. Fairhaven -4, what a good idea. Well, yeah, there is that about it, and unfortunately though, all these sort of quiet places that are normally fairly quiet are quite busy at the moment. And this weekend, every time it stopped raining, and the prom at Cleveley's was full of people and quite busy. I'm just going to take a slurp because I'm getting a little bit parched. Andy in Halifax has just finished work. Miss Bricks of Fun. Absolutely love watching your vlogs. Oh, thank you. That's lovely. So if you want to get your shout outs in, and we'll say hello to as many people as we can before we sign off. I'm trying to read them out. David's having another brew. I would definitely have another brew, David. They brought this up at 2 o'clock. I'm not having any biscuits. Did you see the gingerbread man I had yesterday at Tesco? I've uploaded a video today of my little walk down Clifton Road. It's not cold, it's just tepid. My little walk down Clifton Road and my little picnic at Tesco. So during the course of yesterday, I managed to scoff 4 of the gingerbread men and then said, no, Jane, you can't have any more. You'll be having diabetes next. So yeah, I'm a bit of a cold tea drinker.
One above. You mean?
One above.
One above.
So I've got all my cups lined up here. So that's my empty one that I'm going to refill. And that's my next one. Are you trying to find out how old I am, Frosty?
Go on, male.
Thank you, Duncan. Thank you. I am what it says on the tin. There's no airs and graces with me. It is what it is. Oh, Frosty, I'll pay you later, 21. Don't start laughing. Can I say hi to Jury Chadman in Peru? Wow! And that's Jane's friend. How do I have my tea? White, no sugar. I chopped sugar out a while ago. Miss Bricks reckons I'm not a day over 35. Yeah. Oh dear.
And the dad's only 50.
Yeah, my dad's only 50. So, lockdown. We were talking about lockdown earlier and the fact that it's supposed to be ending on the 2nd of December. So, what do you think? Do you think lockdown will end on the 2nd of December? I just caught a little bit. I tend to watch the news at tea time. and I just got a little bit of it this morning, and I know Duncan. I don't know, and he's from the same neck of the woods as me as well. Duncan, David doesn't think lockdown will end. They were saying this morning it's too early to tell. It's too early to tell whether or not it will be released at the milestone that they said on the 2nd, and that we need to wait another week or so to find out whether or not it will end. So I think yeah, we all need the vaccination. Well, we do all need the vaccination. I've had my flu jab and my pneumonia jab, because I'm entitled this year to a free flu jab. So that gives you an idea, Frosty, I'm old enough to be your mother. So I paid for mine because I didn't want to wait until, yes, I agree with Eric, we need to be a lot more sensible as a nation and to have widespread understanding of the effects on many people. How are we doing as a small business? Awful. Can't say any other. We, as well as doing Visit Fylde Coast, was steaming in January. I was beside myself with excitement and success and everything. Everything was peachy. And then I'm looking for... Eh?
All right, I'm doing it.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me. He says, quick. What? I'm looking for one of these. Yeah, so this is Visit Fylde Coast. This is what we do. And these are all our websites and whatnot. So, yeah, we were, well, yeah. And then, of course, a lot of our businesses that we work with are closed, and it's affected advertising revenue, it's affected the way that we do things. But on a plus note, it's brought me to YouTube, and I think it's fair to say that our engagement this year has absolutely soared. And people seem to like what we do, so we should just carry on doing it because we love where we live and we want you to all enjoy it as well. And somebody's just said that there's a programme on tonight about the plague, and I have a feeling I might have actually seen that because that's right up my street.
No, it's brand new.
Pandemic or not. Is it?
Yeah.
Daddy says it's brand new.
Over 3 nights.
Over 3 nights.
And it's on record.
And it's on record, and I'm a parrot. But yes, it's not the first time that there's been a plague, and it definitely won't be the last time because that's how biology works. We just happen to be living through this one. So yeah, it's affected our business, but we've been flying with our shop this last few months. Our shop's been online for, I should say, probably about 4 years. But for one reason or another, we've not always been able to focus on it as much as I would have liked to have done, because there are only so many hours in a day, even when you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So this year we've done quite well. And they said to me last week, be more organised, Jane, and get some stuff ready to show people. And what have I done? I've not. So anyway, I think I've got some, oh yes, I've got some Christmas cards here in this box. So that, for example, is a picture of the Western train that Derek was painted. And that's one of our current Christmas cards. Yes, Jane, that tea towel that you've bought, we also do that as a print, if you're interested. She says rummaging through piles, as you might say. That's another one. So these are handmade to order, which is what my able assistant is currently doing at the moment. So we've got a little factory going at the minute. And every so often I send hubby off to the post office. Yes, exactly, Reggae, costing us more to run. So that's a new watercolour painting of the lower lighthouse at Fleetwood. So that's the one opposite the opposite the North Euston Hotel. And this is the wire light, which if you're an old time Fleetwood fan, you'll know exactly what that is. If you're new to the area, you'll have no idea, because that's out in the River Wyre and it's currently falling over. They're not online yet. I need to get round to doing them, but we're kind of a bit cross-hobbled. So this is Jane's tea towel. Well, I'm Jane and Jane's bought one. So this is our tea towel. So Daddy's painted all these different things, and then you know, I'd have been mad to live here. And then we've made it into a tea towel, and it's been made in a British factory. They come to us like that, and then we pack them up, all beautifully handmade. Apparently I need a runner, according to somebody who was watching last week. I can't remember who said it, but just bear with me 2 seconds and I'll get up. There's an example I prepared earlier down here.
Damage frame.
And this is those pictures that are at the back of us. So those little ones that you can see there are A4 prints, and that's a framed one, and that's our Blackpool one in a white frame. So they're all made to order. They're all handmade by us in this office. And last week we were looking at some little cottages I was making, and this is another one of some more cottages. So I've been a little elf. I've been sat with my hammer, knocking my nails in, making cottages. So it's not finished. I've not trimmed it up yet. Hi Fiona. Is it next day delivery? Well, that kind of depends what you order and what time, because obviously they're made to order. So if you order a framed picture, we've got to print it out, and then we've got to frame it, and then we've got to send it by courier. So that will probably be a couple of days. If you order rusty nails, I'll come back to that in a minute. If you order a print, plain print like that will go in an envelope, we would do that same day and send it out. Have I hurt my wrist? Yes. I've got tendon trouble. I mean, obviously I've used a computer for a very long time, which doesn't help. But I tore a ligament in my wrist some time ago and I was in agony. I can't say any other. Right, the shells were to decorate my cottages. I'll put, we've got a Seaside Emporium Facebook page, and I will put pictures on there when they're finished, because this little house hasn't got a chimney, it hasn't got its flags up, it hasn't got its bushes round the door, so that needs finishing. Oh, here we Blue Peter, here we have one I made earlier. This is how we send things out. This is an order for a client, packed up in tissue paper, ready to be dispatched. And that's how we send everything out. And I send out an email newsletter. So if you go onto our Seaside Emporium website, you can sign up for our newsletter. It's at the top of the website. So that's what I've been doing. I walked 9,000 steps yesterday morning. Oh, Jane, that's a good idea. Crush some green sea glass to make some sparkling grass. That's a good idea.
That's dangerous in your hands.
Send with blasters.
Jane, Kevin says, have you got any blasters? Look at my hand here. I don't know whether you noticed this as I've been waving my hands about. I've got one on that hand and I've got one on that hand. Because my computer, I use my laptop and a separate keyboard, and my actual laptop is on a bit of a shelf to lift it up so that I can type and look straight at it. And I've got bits and bobs underneath it, business cards and my stapler and whatnot. And every time I put my hand underneath the shelf to get something, I scrape it my skin off. I'm a clumsy clothes, honestly. There was something else I was going to tell you. Yes, speaking of clumsy clothes, if you get this week's email newsletter, there's an article on it that I've published on our Live Blackpool website about the history of the pleasure beach. And there are some really good old photographs of it going back to about 1900. And there's one of the previous gypsy encampment that was there. We went for a walk on YouTube around the outside perimeter of the pleasure beach a few weeks ago, and I looked some of the history up before we did that, but I've done the beginnings of a history page. Obviously there's a lot to add. There's a lot extra, but I've kicked it off anyway. Oh, thanks, David. David's going to have some pictures to brighten his flat up. Isn't that nice? Story about the nails. And I'll come back to that in a second. I'll just finish talking to you about. I'll write it down and I don't forget. I've got memory like a sieve, honestly. I have to write everything down. Right. Yeah, so I found some old videos, some sort of 1900s video and some really old pictures. So it's well worth having a look at that. If you don't get your weekly email newsletter, you need to sign up, because otherwise you could be missing all kinds of things and never even know it. Which reminded me of the time when, Calamity Jane and all that, when I was about 7, Dad? 8?
Yeah, probably around that.
7, 8-ish. Oh, Dave from Barnsley. Hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Whereabouts in Barnsley?
Whereabouts in Barnsley? So can anybody remember the candy house that was in the middle of the pleasure beach where the kids' rides were, and there was sort of a concrete wall that was built round, and there was a little shop as you went into it, and on each side a little staircase down into sort of a sandy area where there were children's rides and slides and things in a climbing frame, and on each side of the steps down into this children's play area there were 2 slides. And what did Jane do? Jane went up the slide, climbed up the slide, and fell on it and split her chin open. So I've got a scar there, and right on the edge of my chin. So the pleasure beach ended up carting me to the Victoria Hospital, upon which I had stitches inserted with no anaesthetic, and I can still remember swinging off the light fitting now. So anyway, not to be content with doing that, Calamity Jane, some years later, can you remember the Lido swimming baths at South Shore? Where, I'm just trying to think of some landmarks for you. It's where the Enterprise Centre is now. There's a little council building that's got a wind turbine on top, and it's sort of just off the main shopping centre at Bond Street. And that used to be a Lido. It was an indoor swimming pool, and I'd gone there with some friends that I knew from Blackpool. and the side of the pool had got sort of it had not got a rail on it like the baths that I was used to using. It had got sort of a curve on it, like a gutter, built-in tiles, and it curved up like that and then back down again, and you used the edge of the thing to pull yourself up. Anyway, I pulled myself up and fell straight back onto the curve, and bang, off we went again. We went to the, I carried on swimming. I had pouring blood everywhere, and I just carried on swimming. It's a wonder they didn't kick me out when you think about it. They wouldn't today, would they? So I ended up at the medical centre at South Shore having butterfly plasters put on. So there you go. I'm sure you've all got your own tragedy stories from holidays in Blackpool. So, no questions? Any more shout outs before we get any further? We've just had a little rush of people all saying hello and having a chat to one another. It's definitely cold now. I think I might have to have another one when we've finished. No questions, no shout outs. Right, drum roll, we'll do the draw, shall we? So I thought it would be nice to do a little random draw. Aye, T-boys, do you want to take this, T-boy?
Thank you.
I'll have a refill. I thought last time we did this last week, to brighten lockdown up, that it would be nice to have a little competition. So these are some special Christmas cards out of my specials box, and you won't find exactly this design on the website. The ones on the website have got a greeting on top. So these are special ones, and these are a competition for the people that commented on last time's live blog. And I'm going to draw the winner today, and if you keep watching we might do this again. So there's a Cleveley's one, Fleetwood, Blackpool Tower, Blackpool Tram, and Lytham Windmill. So I drew somebody out last week when we'd done having a natter. So are you ready? Drum roll and fanfare. And the winner is Tom Mitchell. Tom, are you there? Are you receiving us? No, he doesn't get paid for making tea. Tom, I know, I saw Tom's little, go on, avatar come up. Avatar. Cards. Miss Bricks has just asked how much cards are. Cards start at £2.50 for a small one. I think they're £3, the ones that are a little bit bigger. Tom Mitchell needs to get in touch and send me his address. I don't think Tom's here, is it? We've got Janice Beanion. I tell you what, I'll go on my laptop. I don't know whether it works in two places at once. It's a bit beyond my skill set, that, trying to work that one out. No, it doesn't. You can only have one live stream in one place at once. So Tom needs to get in touch. Miss Bricks wants to know how much Christmas cards are. They start at £2.50 for a 5x7 one. They're A5, they're £3, and we do bigger packs. And Miss Bricks also wanted to know what the story was with the nails. So the story with the nails was that I wanted rusty nails to go with my rustic cottagers. So we've been having a bit of a kerfuffle trying to rust nails. So anybody that wants to buy anything handmade, picture cottagers, anything like that, it's all available to buy on seasideemporium.co.uk. I'll put the link to the Christmas cards in the description down there. So fill your bowls. You can have anything you like as long as we've got one. Rusty paint. Reggie's got a link to rusty paint. Fab.
If they read Chris's blog, they'll see my attempts to
Yes,
rust
and my
then wash
mum
them off.
writes a blog on Visit Fylde Coast. It's Chris's blog, and she spills all our secrets about all the chaotic madcap things that go off in here. And Kevin's been trying to rust nails, so if you read that, you'll find out, oh dear, what it's like to live in this house. So, without any more of ado, just a final reminder to subscribe to the Visit Fylde Coast YouTube channel if you're watching this on replay or if it's the first time you've arrived here. And hit that little bell for notifications, that little bell. And then next time we have a brew or go live from the tide coming over on the front of Blackpool seafront, or dozens of other random things that we might get into actually doing when lockdown comes to an end, you'll get a notification. And don't forget to tell all your friends to subscribe. Really appreciate it if you could do that. If everybody told one person that they can subscribe, we'd do really well, wouldn't we? So I call this meeting to order, people. Order. And we'll see you next time. Bye for now. Bye, everybody. Bye.